Well, good morning, Get Wrecked for Recovery crew. So it's day number 14 of the Redeeming Eden Cycle Tour. RECT, Get Wrecked for Recovery. A 48-state, 4-year ride for addiction recovery awareness. Each day I pedal for someone who's passed away from addiction. And the whole end goal is to build a rehab. And this is state number 32, Ohio, on the Ride to RAGBRAI 2022. A 4,500 mile loop around the Midwest. Ohio to Erie Trail, Michigan's Upper Peninsula, west to Glacier National, south to Yellowstone, east to RAGBRAI, last week of July. And it's all to raise awareness that addiction recovery options are available, that you don't have to die in your addiction. There's churches, celebrate recoveries, and rescue missions all over the nation, all over the world, that just want to help you, talk to you, and love you if you find yourself battling addiction. So yeah, here at the KOA, pretty peaceful night last night. It did rain. That kept me up on and off throughout the night. It was very cold. Very cold. As a matter of fact, I've even got the down hoodie that I say I never wear when bike riding on because I feel like I'm going to need it today. I probably won't in a few miles. But yeah, I'm kind of ready to get on the road. Last night was just crazy. I don't need to be that malnourished or have that little bit of electrolytes in my system. I'm hoping that the KOA office is open before I actually head into town. I think I've got about 7 miles to get to food. I'm trying to make it like 55 miles again today to, I think it's called Hanneken State Park. I didn't really focus on the name. And that would put me like 35 miles out from Angola, Indiana, state number 33, tomorrow evening. Tomorrow I need to be a shorter day because it is supposed to rain all day long and be cold. So either way, yeah, I am finding out just about, welcome to another episode of Adam Has No Idea What He's Doing. Winter camping and bike touring takes a lot of extra work, from just all the extra things you have to do, to wear, to prepare, to pack, to unpack. There's a lot to it. Either way, we're gonna do it, and you're gonna see more of that right about now. All right, so I got some breakfast in my belly. Went to IHOP back there in Perrysburg. Ended up rolling through Perrysburg while I was talking on the phone with my wife and didn't turn the GoPro back on. But there's a really neat park here. Like, it's a huge park. It goes like all down the river. There's a tow path, a little canal. Anyway, I am just steadily making my way. It's like I said just a little bit ago. Welcome to another episode of I Have No Idea What I'm Doing. So I needed to go 55 miles today, and it does not look like that's going to happen. So I'm going to have to like reboot, recalibrate, and figure it out. I'm into a headwind, and I'm on like not unpaved towpaths. I'm sure I could take the roads, but I like to take what Google tells me to do because it really does keep me away from traffic. I think the paramount thing is to stay away from cars, and then secondary is to fight everything else. Anyway, I'm gonna keep on moving, and you'll see more of that right about now. Okay, so I rolled in here to Pizza Aroma. I'm still just directly into a headwind. I've got a pizza here. You can see it shoved there under the Ortlieb thing. But yeah, there's no way that I'm going to make it 55 miles. So I sat down online and looked up. There's a Toledo Metro Parks Oak something park that is 10 more miles down the trail that I'm about to get on. And like, you can't reserve within 24 hours, and so I just kind of asked, like, hey, can I reserve for tomorrow night, because y'all look pretty empty, and like use it for tonight. He's like, well, the only problem is they won't be able to get like any firewood or anything down there for you. I said, I don't need it. I just really need somewhere to put my tent. This is kind of one of those situations where I've run out of time and day, so like I've got to be somewhere. And he was like, yeah, we'll make it work. So that's pretty cool. That gives me the opportunity tomorrow to just go where I was going to go anyway, which would end up making it like 20, 30, and then 30. So I'll be a day late getting into Indiana. But the rain tomorrow shouldn't be too bad if I can just, pump out the miles. Again, I never know what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. So let me get on the road and figure it out, and you'll see more of that right about now. Alright, I figured I'd give you guys a view with all the bells and whistles, the miles per hour, and the map of how straight, ridiculously straight this trail is. And also show you the miles per hour. Like, it's a slugfest with my legs today. Like, I'm conditioned, after riding south to north through Ohio. After the with Louisiana with Liam tour, I was a little bit conditioned. Like, I didn't really do much over the winter break as far as cycling. Maybe 30 minutes. And so when I got into Ohio, that very first day was one of like the highest strain indications I've ever had on my Whoop bracelet. Like, my heart was just hammered that day. But after all that, and so, several rest days, I feel conditioned. I feel like my legs are good. But man, the wind, like, I remember in Rawlins, Wyoming, that it wasn't like a into the headwinds kind of day. It was really off the left of the bike that day. I had crossed the Continental Divide twice, and Chloe and Paola passed me like riding into town, and our bikes were just getting slung toward the, off the road. And when I turned into Rawlins, it was a direct headwind. And it was only maybe for the 30 minutes it took to get to the KOA there. But I tell you what, I finally made the last turn into the KOA, and I had asked God, just please make this stop. And I ran into this little old man and his wife. I'll never forget him. I can still see him in his eyes. His eyes just like told the story of his life. But he said, he brought me a little Bible booklet and pamphlet, and I asked him, simply what faith he was. He said, well, we believe the Bible. And I was like, I love that. And so, long story made short, when I left that encounter with him, he prayed for me there in the parking lot of the gas station. And I made the final turn, and the wind pushed my bike up the hill. It was a pretty significant hill to the KOA, and the wind was so strong there in Rawlins that it literally pushed my bike up the hill. And so I have been thinking about that every one of these windy days, either in the hotels or when I'm out in it, and I'm just like, God, please. It's kind of like Paul in, I think it's 2 Corinthians 12:9. I'm not, again, not there in my Bible to know it exactly, but he's like, 3 times I've prayed for God to take this thorn in the flesh away from me, and all 3 times God was like, my grace is sufficient for you. And so I feel like that's what I'm experiencing. Like, I am just fighting this headwind, and I have sought God to remove the contrary winds, and he's just like, look, my grace is sufficient. My strength will be made perfect through your weakness. And it is. It's like, I don't like when I plan to make it a certain mileage in a day, and it falls short. As a human and as a man, it's always defeating a little bit to be like, well, didn't make it again. I sincerely want to do the things that I talk about in these videos when I'm talking about making it to whatever town or whatever city. And I guess the best verse that explains it is, man plans his ways, but the Lord directs his steps, So either way, that's enough of me jabbering. Let's get up here to this campground and finish this day out a little early. Love you guys. See you later. Well, how about that? So, totally unexpected blessing here on the Wabash Cannonball Trail. The woods really remind me a lot of New Jersey. I know that's strange, but like riding down the bike path today, really, I just like, all I could envision was that ride through the pine barrens of New Jersey. Of course, these aren't pines, but still, it has the same look. But I am super impressed with how it has turned out. Like, there's nobody out here. As a matter of fact, when I did the reservation online, I met like a horse corral. Like this is a horse corral. I was thinking, you know, if somebody showed up and was like, "You're in my campsite, I've got horses," I'd be like, no, I will probably not do that. I need to seem less crazy than I am riding a bike across the U.S. But yeah, in all seriousness though, really good day. The wind, I'm praying for God to change that. You know, I was thinking Chicago, the windy city, and now I'm up here. All this lake effect breeze and winds and stuff. I'm probably going to deal with this for a little bit. May have to start waking up earlier and like actually hitting the road way early, which would mean I need to stop staying up late to work on the videos for you guys. It's complicated, I promise you that. But that's it for the day. I'm going to go ahead and start working on this video since I've got daylight, since it's not super cold yet, and since it hasn't started raining. It looks like it's going to rain in the morning early. But yeah, if you know anybody who's passed away from addiction in any form or fashion, please find me through that Popple link in the description, and I would love to ride for your person and celebrate their life with you for a day. If you know anybody who's actively addicted, or anybody in general, just share this with them. I need you guys' help. Like, that's where I cannot do it. I can't make the videos and spend all day on Facebook sharing it to bike packing groups and solitary cycling groups and all the stuff that will get eyes on what we're doing. I mean, even Celebrate Recovery groups, and you know, there's so many places we could share it. Your church page. Just, I mean, pray about it. Pray about where you feel like God would have you share the videos, and share them. But thank you for everybody who already is doing that. It's much appreciated. I've seen a huge uptick in the amount of viewing, in the amount of views each day. Don't forget, Redeeming Eden is a non-profit ministry through International Gospel Outreach. That link is also in the Popple link and in the description. You can go there and find out more about Redeeming Eden and the Cody Jordan Forever Funeral Fund, which is a fund I started to help families who lose loved ones to addiction with paying funeral costs. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, really can't say anything else about the day other than it was just a good day, but it was into the wind all day. So, from here on the Wabash Cannonball Trail, at the campground on the very far west side of the park. I cannot remember the name of it. Open Oaks something Streambrook Campground. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. I'll see you later. Have a good night.